today we're hopefully going to have some building, and hopefully the creation of the first test module at least, so we can see how things go in terms of progressive plans and whatnot. So we have in front of us the NMRA, British Legion, British region, should I say, specification for HO scale modules, Fremo stuff. In there we'll be taking some pointers to keep stuff fairly standardized, if not at least to a recommended minimum, so we can transition into one standard module into a transition module, which the end of which fits into the standard, if that makes any sense at all. If it doesn't, I apologize. Make it look pretty. But yeah, up here it's fairly no limits. Hello. Just found this. Sorry. I'll carry on in a bit. Let me put it in the daylight box for now. Keep it secure. A friend daylight. It's probably come off one of the daylight cards. And then we've got some maximum dimensions in the form of what's our loft ladder like. So our loft box is, in rough plain speak, 77 centimeters. Sorry, I'm not using freedom units, but who cares? 84 centimeters, right? So if you can see that, yeah, the module has to either fit like this or like this, for example, and then we can move it out into the next place in house. So theory is it should be no more. The theory is we'll take the lowest dimension, which is 77, we'll turn that into 75. So hopefully anything less than 75 is doable. So in terms of this board here, this stuff here, this extruded foam board, from memory it's like 50 or something, but let's just be sure. Yeah, 50 across. So that's almost perfect for 1.5, but bearing in mind as well, the setup of the modules should be like board, very crude, sorry. And then what we'll have is these plywoods ends to support it, right? Another one here. Sorry, it's been a long time since I've done perspective drawings. Another one here goes like that, if you can see that. Let me focus on it for you. There you go. And then underneath you'll have these supports, so and then each corner will have its own 2x4, I believe these are. They would be 2x4 supports. If we could get 2x2, that'd be even better. And then screws there, and then see, when I start sketching it falls apart. Screws into the support beam there, so those are probably out by a bit, and then into the support beams like so. So what you'll have is something like that. So cross section would look like, I would say, that with the holes, possibly, yeah, and then beam here, even out loads. We might have a cross beam here as well, if we're filling up to it, so like zigzagged support beams potentially, if not something here as well. We'll see if you can see that. There you go. That's the idea. So these supports, the side support frames, let's get one, bear with me, I'll pause it. Okay, back again with one. So one of these obviously will be longer, so these come into about $15. So theory is, keep drawing. You see that? I didn't do very well in graphic design, if you could probably tell. I was more of a sketchy, arty person. And then I went into architectural technology. That was fun in its own way. Okay, so this would be 15 centimeters. Now the foam, no, you can't see that, is 5 deep. So this part here, 5 centimeters. So we'll have 10 centimeters of play. And then according to Jules, printed very basically without any cleaning, because quite frankly, sorry, bear with me, because this is just a rough idea of things. When we get into like the serious transition modules, then yeah, for sure, we will definitely have a properly printed one, full ink, clean heads, test page done first prior to printing out the rest, maybe in double-sided to think about the trees, even though I would say potentially the trees are okay with it in some regards, some respects. Ah, here we go. So if you can see that, so center point, you're going to have some space for the clamping areas here and here, so that in the best case scenario, what you'll have is, an actual meetup point for the modules. So with the transition modules, this will we have to be exact. We may be using an older item, so we'll look into that when the time comes, but for now we'll be using this as a standard. So yeah, just having that space there for 3 inches, which is just under 10, so that's perfect. So we can have this module space here, but well, actually thinking about it, this depth, yeah, okay, they talk about 4.5 roughly in height, so 4.5 inches, which I believe, yeah, about 20 meters. So yeah, we'll have to reduce the height a bit, which is fine. I don't mind doing that when the time comes. Yeah, so 1.5 inches under, you'll have the 3 inches, and then you've got the 2-inch centers from the main track, and then 5-inch space, which is give or take 13 centimeters. So we're going to probably start working in inches on these just to fry it all up a bit. But yeah, that's our rough design. So in the term of specs, so you probably want this to be cut, this to be cut. That makes sense. If you had a whiteout, we could make that correction this way. A little box to be cut out, and then probably some wiring here for a little hole for wiring. In fact, just cut the whole thing out here. If you can see that, sorry, the hand's in the way. So, little cut out here. Okay. First step is the frame. So, what do we do? Let's work out quickly as this video goes on. We're now into our 10-minute mark, so that's fine. So depth of this for the centimetre wise was, should probably use a ruler, but never mind. That's 7 millimeters. So 7.7 centimeters, and then that we said was 15, didn't we? Well, hopefully most of them are 15. Give or take a few. It's not too much trouble. Yeah, 15 centimeters. Right. So the average board. Let's take that with us. This one, for example. Sorry, trains. Comes in at about 39 inches. So about 100 centimeters. Roughly. Shall we measure the other one just to see? Because there might have been some shrinkage as well. No, that's not going to work. So that, see, that's already more than 105. Yeah, it depends on the. It would depend on the phone. Let's say. Let's get our test candidate. Let's do it that way. 1 minute, folks. Use another piece of foam. If you can see that, let's bring it into shot. There you go, this foam. As far as I'm aware of, it's full size. $120. So we're looking at 120, 550. So it's also roughed up a bit on the edges. It's fine. In fact, I may cut down the extruded edge a bit. So we've got a, with this, the ideal scenario is brand new, right? But we're recycling here, so it's not like this. It's more like big gap there, 2 holes here and a hole here. Right, see that on the right? So ideally, we can work with the holes. Can't work with this though, so we chop that bit and make it like that. Sorry, this is bad writing, so it's like that. It's straight bottomed, pretty much. So we make a single module with ends, proper ends. And what we can do is measure from the cut side of that, putting that together to get our actual width, which will be 114. So what we're dealing with is 114 centimeters by 50 centimeters, and the depth is about 5, yeah. 5 centimeters. See that? that's the plan. Right. And then from there, what we can deduce is the centers. So half of that is 57. Yes. So 57 centimeters. And then half those again. 25, 3.5. 28.5. So no, into thirds. This is when a calculator would be useful, so I might have one actually. Let's pause it. 38. So 38. Sorry, 38. So it's 38 centers. I think it's called like this, centers. We'll have 2x4s, which here we have some examples here. No, by 5. 2x5s. There may be 2x4s as well. So 2x5s. So 2 wide in there, like so. Okay, we're getting a rough picture, rough idea. Old wiring attempt, old routing attempt. There you go. That one there. Okay, and then what we want is to do the length. I'll do it like in cross shape. So I'll show you. Like that, on the bottom left there, in the focus, in the center, right in focus. So it's each side has an extension to the edge, if that makes sense. Okay, and then our 2x5s, supporting the mid end. Sectional. There's our centers. That should hopefully be enough. And if we screw them in, it should hold them. Right? Right? Because that would be center. So 5, if we take a cross section, and then 2 screws. You've got the foam, which is there, and then you got another 5, which is there. That equates to 15, and then that'll be the entire board covered. You can see that. Focus it in for you. There you go. The entire board covered there, and then it'll be in the center, and the board sitting on top of the centers. That should hopefully do it and should hold it. If not, we can do the middle zigzag as you saw here. Yeah, that'll work. Bit long in the old recording stages, so what I'll do is I will draw this up in a hyperlapse so that it's got a set of plans from above to the side to the other sides. And then we can see for sure what do we need, and then I'll get the parts, break them down, and then do that in the hyperlapse, and then bring in a outtakes video for that. So you can refer to the outtakes and see the calculations going on in my mind. Probably the pretty poor and stupid calculations. Up to you. But yeah, that seems pretty good. But yeah, let me start the hyperlapse and then go on to the actual video of the building and the creation. Oh, and we need to work out the supports, right? If that's 50, I think, yeah, the original span was going to be just over 50, if I remember correctly. Or was it 50 originally? We'll be right back. So the span was in the 60s, so that could be all right. And we're not talking about the sorry again. We're not talking about the far edge here. We're talking about that edge over there. Does that make sense? So beyond here you've got the modules, which will be, we're talking about the test module for that side, then we can build the modules on the L. That makes sense. So yeah, bear with me. I'll make the plan and then I'll do the cuts per what's in the baseboard already. Sorry, the supports already, and then we can work out in between us how to set up the support appropriately. Does that make sense? I'd say it does. If not, don't worry. There you go. But yeah, no, we'll work that out. Bear with us. Actually, on second thoughts, let's build the module first, and then we'll work out the measurements for the supports, because when we build the module, we'll have it right, and then we can put it on top of the supports as is, and then we can mark where the supports cut in, and then we can do the cuts, if that makes any sense, right? But we'll show you on the hyperlapse when we've done the baseboard and we've done the module. Okay, here we go. Let's start the hyperlapse of the writing up